TGIF, and good morning to everybody out there. My name's CJ Curry. Thank you for joining me for another NBA Prize Picks video. If you're new to the channel and haven't subscribed yet, get subscribed now. Dropping free picks, free videos right here on the YouTube channel. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, if you want to slap the like button, I would much appreciate that so we can get this video out to as many people as possible. I'm going to set today's like goal at 149.5, meaning I want 150 or more likes from you loyal, supportive viewers out there. I appreciate you in advance. Now, yesterday's picks were absolutely crap. Yesterday's NBA slate overall, absolutely crap. With all these injuries and all these illnesses that are going around, it makes it really difficult to do any type of early picks or research, but today, I think I've got three pretty solid options, so let's not waste any time and get right into the PrizePicks plays. Now, if you're not playing on PrizePicks, it's a great time for you to get signed up. When you use promo code CJ Curry, you play your first $5, they're going to give you $50 back. Basically, you get a 10x multiplier on the first $5 you paid for absolutely doing nothing, just for playing. So if you haven't played on PrizePicks before, you've been interested, go down to the description of today's video. I've left a special link for you guys to get started. All right, what are we looking at today? Well, got a couple of big men. Actually, all of these guys are big men. They're all centers. And we're going to start things off here with Gerson Yabusele. Gerson Yabusele. And why am I looking at Gerson Yabusele? Well, today the Philadelphia 76ers are supposed to be without both Andre Drummond and their main starter, Joel Embiid, which means Gerson Yabusele should slide into that center role, playing the 5 spot for the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, he's at 7 rebounds today, which I really like. I also like the points, rebounds, and assists for him to go over. Let's take a look at a couple of these things here. Going over to outlier.bet. What you could do with outlier.bet is pretty impressive. In this case, what I have done is I have eliminated all the games where Joel Embiid and Andre Drummond have sat out. Or maybe flip that around. These are games being displayed where both Drummond and Embiid have sat out. So that makes more sense. If you take a look at these games, 5 games now in which Yabusele has played without Drummond and Embiid, you can see that he's got an 80% hit rate or 100% hit rate, 7 rebounds or more. So he's hit 7 or more rebounds in 5 out of 5 games without both Embiid and Drummond. So 9.2 rebound per game average. His line right now is currently sitting at 7 over on PrizePicks, and he's going up against the New Orleans Pelicans team that gives up a ton of boards, especially to the center position. They rank 29th in rebounds allowed to centers. That's 14.2 rebounds per game on average. And he's going to see plenty of minutes. 30 plus minutes should be expected here for Yabusele. He's gotten 30 or more minutes in pretty much every single game where Embiid and Drummond have both sat. So this looks like a really good option. As I mentioned before, the points, rebounds, and assists looks like another solid option, but for whatever reason, it's just not projecting super well. So if we look at the points, rebounds, and assists, and we take out Embiid and we take out Drummond, well, Yabusele has cleared this line in 5 out of 5 games as well without those 2 big men for Philadelphia in the mix. So this is another option for you to consider if you're looking for a 100% hit rate style prop. These are the 2 props, the rebounds and the PRA for Yabusele. Both look really good. Taking a look at some projections for Yabusele, the rebounds did kind of stand out to me as the better projecting prop of the 2. If we go over here to RotoWire and take a peek at his projection, 8.42 projected rebounds according to their proprietary projection models over on RotoWire. So you love to see that. That's a difference of 1.42 rebounds versus his line on PrizePicks at just 7 boards. Getting you a second projection, we're going to go over to Fantasy Labs for this one. Fantasy Labs has Yabusele's rebounds at 7.6, so we should feel pretty confident that he's going to grab at least 7. But we're really hoping for 8. We don't want to push or tie. Not that we would lose any money in that case if he did tie or push, but we want to get the full payout. So hopefully he doesn't end up with a tie or a push situation. And then last but not least, we're going to look at another projection, a third projection model, because every projection model is going to be just a little bit different from one model to the next. This one is shot quality, and it's found over on Roto Grinders if you want to check it out. 7.2 projected rebounds. Again, that 7 number really just seems like a soft landing spot, a safe bet. nothing's really safe. We are gambling here. There are major risks involved, but it looks like a pretty good choice for you to grab Yabusele at least 7 rebounds. So that's your first pick. Second pick is going to be Kristaps Porzingis of the Boston Celtics. Now, he's still sitting at 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists, which is a great number, especially against the Sacramento Kings, the teams that he's had some pretty good historical success against. The Kings have not been very good at defending opposing bigs, and Kristaps Porzingis, now that he's finally healthy, is one of the best bigs, especially when it comes to filling it up offensively in the entire league. So we're looking at Porzingis for more than 26.5 PRA. Now, again, using outlier.bet, I was able to turn on some filters here, and I'm looking at just the games where everybody who's a key component for the Boston Celtics has played. So these are games where Horford, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Drew Holiday have all been active alongside Kristaps Porzingis. And when we filter those games in, well, you got 4 for 4, a 100% hit rate prop here for Kristaps Porzingis, averaging 29.5 points, rebounds, and assists in those 4 games in which he has played alongside his 5 compadres in Boston. So this looks really good here for Porzingis. Now, I also looked at the head-to-head matchups against Sacramento, and as I mentioned, he's had some pretty darn good historical success against the Kings. 35 PRA. This was back on December the 20th, 2023, so well over a year ago. So it's kind of ancient history. Take it with a grain of salt, but it's good to see that at least he did have some success there against Sabonis and the Kings in that previous matchup. And then they played again April 5th of 2024. 33 PRA for Kristaps Porzingis in that head-to-head. So he's 2 out of his last 2 head-to-head against the Kings. And you take a look at some of the metrics here. Kings ranked 16th in points allowed to the center position, 25th in rebounds allowed to the center position, and 27th in assists allowed to the center position. So it's either yellow or green for pretty much every major category when it comes to centers in this Sacramento Kings defense. So looking good on paper, right? So let's get you some projections on Kristaps Porzingis, starting with RotoWire. Take a look at the RotoWire projections. You can see most of the projections have Kristaps Porzingis as a lean more option, which is what we want to see. Let's take a look specifically at the points, rebounds, and assists. 28.54 is the projected PRA, putting him more than 2 PRA higher than where he currently sits at 26.5 PRA. So gotta love that projection differential of 28.5 versus just 26.5. Going over to Fantasy Labs, we'll go over to the PRA category and we'll take a look at where he's at there. If we can find him. It doesn't look like they've got a PRA projection up for Porzingis. We'll just use the PR for right now. 26.8 points and rebounds. You figure 1 to 2 assists on top of that. He's probably sitting at around 27.8 or 28.8 PRA. Nonetheless, you can see just the projection for the PRA or the PR alone, the points and rebounds alone, is at 26.8. So if he gets 1 or 2 assists, then he's going to go over in terms of the projection on Fantasy Labs. Let's get you a third projection, though, just to get a clearer picture of how these models are viewing Kristaps Porzingis today. The PRA is at 28.76 over on Shot Quality and the Advanced Analytics projections found on RotoGrinders. So 28.76 versus 26.5. Again, a nice little soft spot here for Kristaps Porzingis. And you're going to see that most of the sports books have a lot of juice on Porzingis going over 26.5 PRA. So don't be surprised if this one ends up getting bumped up to 27 or 27.5 PRA. Our last pick of today's video, I know, short, sweet. We've reached the end. We're looking at Nikola Vucevic at 11 rebounds. Now, he had a little bit of a stinker game last game going up against the Indiana Pacers, but prior to that game, he had done really well at getting at least 11 rebounds or more. And so I'm looking to go back to the well here for Nikola Vucevic to collect 11 or more rebounds against a soft Washington Wizards front court. This should be a matchup he can take advantage of. Going over to Outlier and taking a look at Nikola Vucevic this season, especially in the last 10 games, I want to really focus on those. He's had at least 11 or more rebounds in 7 out of his last 10 games, so that's a 70% hit rate. Gotta love what you're seeing there. Now we take a look at the head-to-heads versus Washington. It's been complete domination for Vucevic. He's had more than 11 rebounds in his last 4 head-to-head matchups against the Washington Wizards. So you gotta love that. He's 2 for 2 this season, pulling down 12 and 14 boards. That's well more than 11. So head-to-head, he dominates against the Wizards. I think today, hopefully, is more of the same. You take a look at the Wizards for the season against the center position. Well, they're giving up 22nd most rebounds allowed at about 13.1 boards per game to opposing centers. They are going to be a little bit shorthanded without Torrey Craig, so maybe a little bit of a boost in front court minutes for Nikola Vucevic and guys like Patrick Williams, but nonetheless, absolute domination when it comes to these rebounds versus the Washington Wizards. Now, let's go run some projections on Vucevic and see how the models are stacking up. Again, we're going to go over to RotoWire first and foremost. A lot of projections are leaning more on RotoWire for Vucevic. So whether it be PRA, PA, PR, or just the old R, the rebounds like we're looking at, a lot of projections leaning toward the over here on Vooch. 11.53 is his projected rebounds. That's a 0.53 differential. Doesn't sound like much, but for a category like rebounds, we'll take the half a rebound or so differential here for Vucevic. Take a look at his projection over on Fantasy Labs. Fantasy Labs, 10.8 projected rebounds. Has him real close to that 11 number. Hopefully there's a little bit more ceiling and upside here. I think based on the historical matchups head-to-head, based on how he's shown recent form of collecting more than 11 rebounds, that, you know, he should be able to grab those 11 or more boards for us. So taking a look at the third and final projection, which is going to be over here on Roto Grinders and Shot Quality. They've got him all the way up at 11.81 rebounds. There's a little bit more of that upside that we're looking for in these projections. Real close to 12 projected rebounds for Nikola Vucevic against this Washington Wizards front court. So he makes for a fine play, I think, for at least 11 boards, hopefully 12. That's all I got for you, though, gang. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down in the comment section below. Are any of these picks standing out more than the other to you? Why or why not? Or maybe you've got some picks of your own. I like to hear your ideas and thoughts and some of the plays that you're going to be putting your money down on. Leave it down in the comment section below, and we will see you guys in another video real soon. Peace.